radio station. And don't forget about SuperTalk TV, where you can find us on your computer or your mobile device. If you've listened to Good Things long enough, you know that we bring awareness to Huntington's disease. So today we've got Dr. Huang. He is a neurologist at UMMC. He's working in Mississippi's first Center of Excellence for Huntington's, along with Mississippi's first ever Huntington's Disease Society of America's Education Day. It's a mouthful, Dr. Huang, but it's all good things. So welcome.
Thank you so much, Rebecca, and it's my pleasure to be here.
And I know that you've been working a long time in this, bringing awareness, getting the Center of Excellence for Huntington's, and now this feels like just sort of that next piece, getting an education day. So why has it taken so long for Mississippi to get a education day around Huntington's disease?
Thank you. It's a good question. So first of all, we don't have a Huntington's disease clinic until about 5 years ago, and then we, put things together, and then we become one of the 56 Center of Excellence clinic about 3 years ago. So that's to, talk about the Huntington's disease has not been very well recognized in our community, and we don't have a good resource in the state to take care of patients with Huntington's disease. So that was the first step. And as you know, that oftentimes when patients and Huntington's disease or other patients come to see the doctor, the time is very limited, and we talk a lot about medical treatment, diagnosis, but we just don't have time to talk about how does the disease affect the extensive family and what other resource we will need, and then plus a research update. So we feel there is a need to, bring all our Huntington's patients' family together to maybe in a conference room to talk about the disease. But that was easy to see, but hard to put things together. And we've been planning for a couple of years with the support from Huntington's Disease Society of America. And finally, I think we're ready and to roll this year.
Yeah, and that's going to happen actually November the 2nd at Embassy Suites right here by the Hilton in Jackson, which I think is super convenient and central. And it's an opportunity, it sounds like, Dr. Huang, for the whole community to sort of come together. When us here at SuperTalk, I feel like we're learning more and more about Huntington's because of our wonderful SuperTalk family with Heather and Nathan, and hopefully our listeners are learning more too, but I still feel like there's a lot of folks out there that don't recognize the far reach and impact that Huntington's may have in our state. You're in it every day, so kind of maybe either statistics or kind of explain like how prevalent is it in Mississippi and how many families do you feel like will gather for this education day?
Thank you. So Huntington's disease is not a common disease. That's for sure. It affects about statistically 40,000 patients around the country, and with a prediction of 200,000 people affected by disease, family members. We know that this is a hereditary disease. In Mississippi, we expect there's maybe 450, 100 patients, but maybe 20,000 family members are affected. It's small number, but thinking about it's a disease, one family member got it, the whole family is affected. It's a very huge impact to the family. It's also the disease started at middle age. By that time, get that diagnosis, you have parents to taking care of, you have kids to taking care of, and you are about to, a lot of patients lose their job, health insurance because of the diagnosis. So it's a huge thing,
And this is why the support system is so important piece to it. And it may not just be your family, it can also be extended family and friends and the community that can rally sort of around you, which makes this education day super important, Dr. Huang. So kind of walk us through it. What are some of the highlights that you guys will have there, and what will that day look like?
Thank you. So we will start to do registration around 9:30. We'll kick off the agenda by 10 o'clock. We have speakers lined up. We have a few speakers from our Huntington's Disease Center of Excellence Clinic, our social worker, our neuropsychologist, our genetic counselor, all from UMMC. We're talking about different aspects of the disease, different, what our team member can help them in regard of, provide genetic counseling to family member, provide psychological counseling to, patients, family with mental health issue. And the social worker is going to talk about disability and care resource available in the community and, those good things. And also, what they highlight the day will be we invited Dr. Victor Sang. He's a neurologist, movement disorder specialist from University of Alabama, Birmingham, and he's Center of Excellence director there. He's going to give us 1 hour update on the research side, what's new, what's going on the research side that can bring us hope. Maybe, some medication to slow down the disease, eventually maybe a cure on the horizon.
Yeah. That would be amazing. And I think even if Huntington's doesn't affect your family, as you mentioned, Dr. Huang, in terms of diseases, it is a smaller subset of our Mississippi family. But I feel like the more that understands it and how troubling it can be as a diagnosis and the more awareness that's raised, that's how we get more research, right? And how important is more research for something like Huntington's?
So it's very important, as we know that Huntington's disease has been not very well recognized by funding, agents, by, the community. I think that the more awareness we can raise, the better we can diagnose, treat the disease. Also, more maybe, people will come forward to provide support of maybe funding resource to help us on the research education side. Talking about that part, we have our community hero, Heather. It's going to be one of the speaker for the education day as well. She's going to talk about as a caregiver how to navigate around the community to get the help she needs to take care of her husband who has Huntington's disease. And that's, I hope our family member and Huntington's disease will also learn a lot from her as well.
I feel like if everyone with Huntington's disease had a Heather, there would be, and I know also that Heather and Nathan are going to be making that trip to Washington, D.C. to talk about, or to the FDA, I'm not sure if it's in Washington, to sit and talk about the importance of research and how every little bit helps in terms, but it also helps that we have the Center of Excellence here. And Dr. Huang, I know you're a big part of making that happen. Why is that important that we have something in Mississippi to help our Mississippi patients?
So before we have the clinic, a lot of our patients and family, they don't know where to go to see a doctor to get a diagnosis of Huntington's disease, to ask for help. We have patients, their diagnosis has been significantly delayed. They couldn't get diagnosis until they're 60 to 70, and we also have patients they're turned down by their providers, say there's nothing we can do for your disease. I think with Center of Excellence clinic in the community, it will help our patient family to have the access to our clinic right there. So we have some patients that do try to get access to, for example, out of the state to go to New Orleans, Birmingham, Memphis, other place to get care. So that's just the far outreach for most of our patient and family. And also a Center of Excellence is almost like an anchor point there. We have great communication, collaboration with other Center of Excellence clinic around the country in the Southeast. We exchange idea, information, resource all the time. So we really want to bring the cutting-edge care and also the research information and the education opportunity to our community.
Well, I think that's a good thing, as well as Mississippi's first ever Huntington's Disease Society of America's Education Day. It's happening November the 2nd, right here in Central Mississippi. Dr. Huang, if a family's listening and they want to sign up, or they're a caregiver or know someone, how do we do that?
So we have, on HDSA, Huntington's Disease Society of America, if you search HDSA Education Day, it's gonna to link you to Mississippi Education Day. There's a page you can register your information. But feel free. Even you find it's difficult to do that registration online, and if you mark your calendar down November 2nd, Saturday, 9 o'clock, and the Embassy Suite in Ridgeland. So come over. We will have on-site registration as well.
Wonderful. Well, it's great having you here, Dr. Huang. Thank you for your time. You guys stick with us. We got more for you coming up.